Developed and published by So Club and originally released in 2022 for multiple gaming consoles, was that of Sifu. Yang, a disgraced martial artist, seeks to attack his former martial arts instructor in Hong Kong. Having a number of assistants to help in the assault were Fajar, being affiliated with drug trafficking into and out of Hong Kong, Sean, a corrupted martial artist who disgraced his own father, Kuroki, an internationally known artist, Jin Fang, one of the most prominent businesswomen in Hong Kong. The nameless protagonist sought revenge against Yang and the others for the death of their father. But along the journey for vengeance, a conspiracy is discovered, and the protagonist questions everything that they had ever known about their father and his relationship to Yang. Kuroki was actually the most vague out of all the affiliates with Yang, and facts or details about her were intentionally vague. When the protagonist encountered Kuroki to fight, regardless of the decision on what to do once the fight concluded, the facial expressions with Kuroki and even her face paint or the kimono color she wore showed sadness for the first phase of the fight and madness for the second phase of the fight. This was intentional, as from in-game lore, Kuroki was actually grieving on coping with the death of her twin sister, Shirozu, who had died through unknown circumstances prior to the events of the game. The entire meaning and purpose for Kuroki's museum exhibit in Hong Kong was that of duality, on the theory that either to cope with her sister's death or the denial to cope with her sister's death had Kuroki to develop a split personality based on Shirozu. Further details of the museum exhibit held the theme of water, which was flowing, everlasting, but also naturally destructive. The water theme also represented Kuroki's mental struggle. Yang and the others knew of Kuroki's situation, but needed her social influence to help expand Yang and Jinfeng's social and economic influence within Hong Kong. These details from the lore in the game confirm the dialogue that Kuroki had with the protagonist, that they didn't know or care about their father because she wasn't truly connected to what had occurred and was merely there out of forced obligation. It was lastly confirmed that according to lore, there was nothing that the protagonist nor anyone else could do to help Kuroki, but for her to either handle the grief and eventually overcome it, or to eventually have the grief consume her. Sometimes a character can be forgotten because they weren't necessarily forgotten, just not important enough to the lore or the plot that they were associated with.